This is Hillary and Clinton on the road. Welcome to another week of BLACKLANTIC.
We are doing something we've obviously never done before. During one of our road trips, we decided we hadn't done a topic episode in a while, and I'm going to keep my eyes on the road.
Please.
So here it is, a topic episode on the road. Hillary and Clinton in the car.
On the way to St. Andrews by the Sea, which you will probably have already seen the content of this thanks to Destination New Brunswick. We are heading over there to see some stuff. Also, thank you to Luke, the owner of Paddle Fest, for inviting us out. So we'll be sharing that content probably. Well, wait, we're releasing this later, so you know what?
You will see this
You'll
first.
see this first. So tune into that. But we haven't just sat and talked in a long time, other than like off camera when we normally chat. So how are you?
I'm fantastic.
Good.
I'm fantastic. You know, this time of year is my favorite time of year. The the snow has melted away. The sky is blue. The sun is out. Spring is here, and the mosquitoes and the wasps and all the things that bite me and I'm allergic to haven't come out yet. So, you know, for me, once like it gets to that 30-degree weather and there's mosquitoes every square inch, I'm done. Like, I'm ready for winter again.
Yeah, I just
Spring
remember.
is my favorite time of year for
I
sure.
just remembered you and the wasps in Toronto. And I just had that flashback of like when we were standing by that trash can and you were like, nope, and like
Not wanting to die.
Yeah, not wanting to literally get murdered by bugs. Yeah, I feel you.
So I'm great. How are you?
I don't know if people will be able to hear that I'm stuffed up, but I'm fine. I'm always sick, it feels like, because I work so much. Sorry to my body, but here we are. But I'm great. We've just done so much over the last several months, but right now we are coming off of Diversity Week at Riverview High, which I think is an amazing initiative. We were part of a podcasting workshop. We were part of I did a keynote speech for Girls Night In, as well as a fashion and media training. We heard some amazing stories. So I've been super busy all week and I'm a little drained, but it was super exciting to be able to give back to the community here in Moncton and support schools. And you know, I'm trying to make my one brain cell up here work. So that's where we're at.
The week at Riverview High School was really awesome, and you know, the knowledge that we have now enabled 5 different students to create 5 unique podcasts of their own. It's just such a cool feeling. They're a great group of kids. We hope they continue on with it. And the joy and excitement on everyone's face when that first student uploaded the first podcast and they all were able to listen to it on Spotify was just incredible.
Yeah.
It was neat.
It was adorable.
Why don't we start with the beginning of the year and everything that's happened?
Sure.
We started off the year as a company being only in existence for about 2 years with finally trying to solidify and put on paper our business plan.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of work. We did a lot of research, studying our analytics, where we're most prominent, our demographics, our targets, our goals. We made a business plan as well as a pitch deck.
Shout out Meg.
Shout out Meg, absolutely, who's helped us in more ways than one over the years.
So many ways.
You know what we talking about.
I was like, what are we talking about?
You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
you didn't know what I was talking about.
Honestly, I went a different route.
We'll talk. I don't know what you're.
Well,
Okay,
see?
Yeah.
There's more than one way.
Absolutely.
Anyway, shut up, Meg.
Yeah, and then of course, so that was our January, and then we headed into February, which is Black History Month. That, of course, is a whirlwind of people wanting your attention and events and last-minute requests and stuff like that, where we realized that, you know, I don't know if we're not the first person to realize this, but Black History Month is too much. Black events need to be spread out throughout the year.
It's harder to be Black during Black History Month than it is the other months of the year. Like, it's the most draining and exhausting to be on demand for those 28 days. And I take back everything I said. I'm glad it's the shortest month, because if it was those 3 extra days, I think I would just be a sick shell of a human. I was sick at the end. You were there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we worked so hard. I did the Crybaby Art Gallery curation. I threw a fashion show. We spent the beginning of the month here in New Brunswick speaking at St. Thomas University and recording content, and then you came to Toronto for the Crybaby Art Gallery and for the Black Diamond Ball content that we released, doing the red carpet there, and in between all of that we did, I think, CBC radio stuff as well, like, oh man, yeah. We released BAM. Sorry, you released BAM, but we did our Black History Month podcast that was sort of part of BAM, as well as a Roger special. What else? There was so much.
Did you go into detail about the Black History, the Black Diamond Ball yet?
Well, we did a whole episode on it, so I felt like we didn't have to, but I can.
No, not necessarily you needed to. And we don't edit this, so that's just how
this
it is.
This is it.
No, you can, but you asked what else that we did.
I did mention it.
Partnered up with CBC to highlight 10 Black Atlantic musicians, and so we featured them on the radio, talked a bit about these artists' songs and backgrounds, which was played throughout the month on CBC Information Morning Moncton.
Yeah.
We partnered with Rogers TV and Jeff from Jeff's Musical Car to ironic. Yeah. We're in a car to do a Much Music Rhapsody style 1 hour special where we took 10 different musicians from Atlantic Canada and played the music and talked about them on television, which aired on TV a bunch of times, which will be uploaded soon. And yeah, we launched the band, which is Black Atlantic Musicians, a niche sort of affiliate partner, brother of this, which is hyper focused on music only.
Bam! I just always see that chef and I'm like, he's not black, but bam! You know what I mean?
The chef?
The chef who, like,
from Sesame Street? Oh,
No!
I don't know. Is this a pop culture reference I'm not getting?
The chef who would throwing like spices into his dishes and he would literally scream BAM. He was known as like Chef BAM. Like in the 80s and the 90s. Like I'm talking old.
I don't know. If anyone knows who that chef is, comment in the comments.
I can't Google and show it to you.
Send a link. I don't know what we're talking about. I will say the Black Diamond Ball, that was my first opportunity to be on a red carpet interviewing people in person, which is always was a bit scary, but you helped me through all of that, and I've done a lot more since then. I guess that was our February.
Yeah, because then March was the Junos.
Did we talk about St. Thomas University?
I mentioned it, I did.
Okay.
We can go into it more if you want, again.
Well, it was just our first time ever meeting up with Matthew Martin from Black Lives Matter Brunswick. We talked to him so many times on virtual, and that was great. So it was great to connect and build there. And that was our first official workshop,
It was our first
talk.
paid, diversity, equity, inclusion, I guess, speech, talk, seminar. And it was really nice to impart anecdotal wisdom about what it's like to be black in classrooms, be a black parent, etc., to children who are going to be taught by these primarily white teachers in this primarily white province who need their support, their guidance, their understanding, and mainly their ability to listen and not prejudge. So I had a wonderful time and I thought that it was great. I really enjoyed it. We also did the talk about the KKK in February.
That was the same talk, wasn't it? A little brief history of
when did we do the
our
library?
Understanding of the Moncton Library.
That was 2023.
Was it though? Wasn't it really warm outside? No, maybe it was 2023. While we're trying to figure this out, shout out to St. John, New Brunswick. We're passing the sign right now. So BLACKLANTIC is in St. John. Unfortunately, due to our itinerary, we don't have the time to stop off and see any of the people from this city.
Hi, all the ancestral black people and all the other black people.
Absolutely.
We say hello to you, and we also say goodbye.
And the newcomers and immigrants too.
That's why I said the new ones
black
too.
People. Oh, did you say that?
I said the new ones too.
How are we doing for our first car episode? Not bad.
I don't know.
Not bad.
It's been a pretty wild 10 minutes.
Do you want to talk about the Junos?
What a time those were. It was wonderful. It was not what I think I expected, having done red carpets, but I should have known better in the sense that they're always very chaotic and hectic. And so I think sometimes I get it's a grand scale event. It's going to be so strict and organized. And it was a bit chaotic. but we loved that. It was so great connecting with all of the artists on a personal level. Like, first of all, somewhat selfishly, I guess I'll say, but like, it was great having gone to the nomination announcements first and having met so many of them in advance, because that just helped build rapport for us. So I was really happy to get to get to know the Mighty siblings better and connect with Maestro Fresh West on a different level, and it's the Messenger and Lavender and Jamila and all the people that we ended up interviewing. Yeah, they were phenomenal. As you've now seen almost all of, we did 8, I think, interviews over the course of those 3 days, while also going to the Juno Fest shows and the Juno Block Party and the Songwriter Circle, and figuring out getting dressed and changed in the opening night awards and the award awards, and it was absolutely, again, bananas. BANANAS.
Can you flip the camera while we're recording or not?
No. Sorry.
Well, to anyone who's never seen St. John, it's a nice cityscape, I think. Others may disagree. It's not Toronto. Don't make that face.
I mean, it's not
my cityscape. I'm just saying, don't need any St. John. Don't need any haters. I think it's beautiful.
It's stunning. I just see a church. I see a train. What am I looking for?
And tents. Nothing.
Yeah, more encampments.
I was just wanted to see if we could show the people the view.
We can. I could dismount it, but
Juno's week was wild. We
Uh-huh.
met a lot of media. It felt neat to be in the room with all the big wigs like Virgin and CBC and Rogers and CTV, SOCAN, and other
Radio,
organizations.
yeah.
Yep. And we didn't sleep. Like, no one slept. No one slept during the Junos.
It was pretty much 4 a.m. nights, 8 a.m. starts, because we were recording every single day. So it was definitely aggressive, to say the least. I will say, yeah, so like figuring out, like, being in that room behind the scenes, how we were getting our interviews, sort of this very much like guerrilla sense of media, and just being, I'm gonna call us rogue and MacGyvery. But it was very like piecemeal, throw it together, but it worked out really well.
It was wild. It was dope.
It was so much fun, and like I felt like being the only black media in that room was amazing.
Well, there's Rudy Blair.
Right, but we were the only like ones with a black mission or cause, I guess I should say.
Yeah, that's fair.
But still, not the only black people in the room. But it still felt really good to be able to be there and sort of, speak to Maestro Fresh West and all of the amazing artists that we highlighted in that episode, and connect with them, and then hear the music and explore Halifax and be with our friends and family, and not far from home either. So it was absolutely wonderful. And we'll see if you see us back at the Junos in Vancouver.
Yeah, the MacGyverness of it is we went there pretty busy, and this was mostly your finessing, but we ended up invited to so many unlisted events and into parties and access, and some strings were pulled for us to get us to places we weren't supposed to be.
Thank you, strings.
Necessarily, like red carpet rooms, red carpet parties, special brunches, private brunches, and just really grateful to be there.
I will say that, like, in terms of the strings, though, it really showed like what happens when community comes together and people seeing the value in our work and wanting us in that space. So it was appreciated not only on a like access level, business level, company level, but also on a level of like you understand why we're doing what we do and that we belong in those spaces. And so I very much appreciated all of that. I feel like we made so many friends. Like, since then, I've gone to brunch with certain people that we met there. I've hung out with people that are back in Toronto. Like, it's truly changed, like, who I speak to on the daily.
Yep, I've absolutely made new friends and just strengthened connections with people I already knew.
Which reminds me, I'm doing an event with Gary in June.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
I've been so busy I pride myself on not being overly busy, but I've been which is completely counterintuitive to how a lot of people think of entrepreneurship. But and again, the kind of entrepreneurship I've done, I haven't really needed calendar entries, but things are getting so busy that I got to start putting everything in, because I'm a bit forgetful to begin with, or just too many things on my mind other than that.
You're busy.
What did we do after the Junos?
We had a big nap.
I got sick.
Yeah, you got...
Everyone
I got sick.
Half the people
I think we all got sick. March. April was the first month that I didn't come and visit the East Coast at all. But you ended up doing...
Was ECMAs the next thing?
The ECMAs were this month. They were just a couple weeks ago, but that was, I think, our next big thing, because we've just been releasing Juno's content. There's the NB Black Summit, and then the ECMAs. And that's been all you.
So,
take it away.
I was invited to the second annual NB Black Summit, hosted primarily by the NBAA, so that's the New Brunswick African Association, and I am going to forget some of the sponsors, I'm so sorry, but I know that Pure Gold Foundation was also involved, as well as a Francophone African Association.
CPBA and NB?
Could be, and I'll have to try to remember to post the rest in somewhere. Or you can find it on our Instagram page. I think there are posts about it as well. But the whole point is to bring together like-minded people from different backgrounds, different African countries, North America, of course, or just anyone of African descent, the different organizations, to bring together to try to kind of focus and align goals, right? There are a lot of organizations working parallel to each other, trying to accomplish the same thing here in New Brunswick, which is equality and equal opportunity for everyone above everything else. And it's just kind of a way to all meet. There were panels, workshops, keynote sessions from the main lawyer from Ottawa or Montreal, who was dealing with the civil...
the federal civil suit.
The federal civil suit against the federal government for racism against black employees was there. Zami, who we interviewed yesterday, was present, and just a lot of amazing individuals. Sosa and Yusuf were one of the main organizers. Shout out to them. And it was great. The theme was the Renaissance again, so just celebrating black excellence. Absolutely no focus on sort of the trauma and history of Africans that were enslaved, just looking towards the future. You look like you're having thoughts.
I don't know if I can taste.
Oh, because you're sick. Stand by, folks.
I'm just concerned because that's a COVID symptom.
I know, and you tested negative for COVID.
I did.
So now we'll bring it over here a little bit. I don't know why I switched lanes, as if that would get me further away from you somehow. Can you taste? You had your coffee.
Taste.
Okay, sorry.
That Sprite doesn't taste like Sprite. Let me go back to the coffee.
Too late for me, but yeah.
Oh no. We're good. We're back. Oh, I was like, because there's no sugar in this. So it's just coffee and milk. And I was like, why don't I taste anything anymore? It's still not right, but it's not gone.
Car conversations with Cropberry.
Oh, Cropberry.
You still are Cropberry.
Rip. AKA HLM. Hullum. Anyway, now back to our regular scheduled programming.
So that was the NB Black Summit. It was good. Held downtown Moncton at the Crown. It was a 2-day event with catered food and just a really good time.
Good vibes.
Sponsored by the John Howard Society. Yeah. Next up for myself was the East Coast Music Awards, which again was just a great time. The East Coast Music Awards have been around for decades and decades and decades, and something really interesting that I learned that I didn't know, if you've heard of the African Nova Scotia Music Association, they were actually forged and formed out of frustrations for the ECMA of the past, the East Coast Music Association of the past. In 1998, a group of black people from Nova Scotia traveled to St. John's, Newfoundland in order to partake in the ECMAs. And when they got there, they realized that there was no black representation, no black musicians, no black industry people, no black awards, possibly. And they got back to their hotel room and they said, this has to change. And so the ANSWA was founded. 30 years later, they are an integral part of the East Coast Music Association. And it was a 4-day event in Charlottetown, Prince Edward Island, held at the Delta, and I gotta say, it was my first one, but it went really smooth. It ran really well. That's not to knock the Junos, and of course out here on the East Coast it's a little bit more laid back, but everyone was relaxed. Everything started on time. There was lots of venues to attend. Parking wasn't the best, but that's how it is in any city. Blanche, who is the new CEO for Montreal, shout out to her. She's got a lot of interesting visions for the future. I was able to connect with BLACKLANTIC musicians from all over Atlantic Canada. Some BAMs. Shout out again to the Black Cultural Society of Prince Edward Island, ran by Tamara, who was gracious enough to lend me their space. A beautiful facility, by the way. I don't know if I sent you any videos, but in their space they have a movie theater. They have like a treated sound room where you could like record music, and it would like be a clean quality. And they even have a social media content creation room with like a special backdrop and clothing and costumes. So it's a really great space, and they're trying to do more and more and reach out to Black communities in Prince Edward Island. I think we're going to go back there, but I was able to record 8 episodes for the BAM, and the performances were wild. The sound quality was really good. I got to see people like Vince the Messenger, KO. I didn't catch Maggie Andrew this time. Oh my gosh, I'm not even going to be able to name them all. The Casual Cries for Help. Okay, I can't remember them all, but I just did a 2-part radio series on CHMA FM, where I now have a BAM radio show playing Black music every week. But if you check our socials, you'll be able to find out who all those musicians were as well.
Check us out.
What else can I say about the ECMAs other than there was a charity basketball game that was had, which was amazing. Shout out to Julian Matwawana, who is the president of the ANSMA, who has some really great things planned for the future, as well as...
And there was the ANSMA Black Showcase, right?
Yep, there was the ANSMA Black Vibe Showcase, and the night before, which was really good, the night before that was another great showcase called Lyrics and Beats, or Beats and Lyrics. That one, the ANSMA one, was hosted by Jay Brew, and this one was hosted by Dwayne Marshall. I'm not sure if he's the one that put it together, but he was also nominated for Industry Professional of the Year, I believe. All in all, a really great event where I know a lot of building was said. I met more people from Toronto, as well as reconnected with people from the Junos that I'd met. I met a lot of great industry people and people interested in doing Black work. So it was dope. It was dope.
Amazing.
Are we up to speed? Is there more?
Well, I did the Fashion Art Toronto stuff for us, in a way.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so for Fashion Art Toronto, I knew that there was going to be an influx of Black designers, as they were partnered with Black Designers of Canada, owned by George Sully. Shout out George Sully. Bestie, who has now given me a ton of gear, and I appreciate him so much. So I knew I wanted to go with our Black mission and mandate and give an opportunity to promote our work. I didn't expect the first 2 nights to be almost all Black designers, and so it got really intense because there was only one person that didn't really fit our mandate to interview, and they were still racialized. So it was really exciting to see what's turning into the mainstay. Fashion Art Toronto has been a fashion week that has existed for 19 years, and it is now primarily racialized designers taking over, which is very exciting for the culture, diversity, and community of Toronto. So we did 2 Instagram lives on the Thursday and the Friday, and then we recorded all the other interviews, which will be coming out probably within this week. I just made 6 of them live. It's not even me.
I'm so behind, I'm laughing at myself. I'm not laughing at you.
I was going to say, I'm waiting for Justin to edit them, but he's busy as heck, and I appreciate him. So, yeah, we've got some interviews out, more on the way, interviewed all the Black Designers of Canada designers, which meant that through this, not nonprofit organization, their spot in the fashion show was paid for by George Sully's organization. So they didn't have to pay to be in the fashion show. One black designer was actually sponsored by 1664, which is the alcohol company that is now sponsoring all of Fashion Art Toronto. So signed by Dahlia, made garments that actually like tied into their new rosé beer, which they were stunning. And she was so sweet and everyone was so lovely to meet. And then we also talked to some red carpet VIPs and notables like Patricia Jagannath, who else? George Sully himself, Rowan James, Sean Cuffey from the Black Diamond Ball, designer Timmy Tyrone, who fitted Clinton for the Black Diamond Ball.
The man, I shouted you out on the radio show last night before I played Gary Beale's song, just so you know.
Oh, amazing.
Okay, sorry, go on.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Also, other notables that are not racialized, but Miles Sexton, George Antonopoulos, George who works for Fashion Canada, Miles, one of the most prolific influencers, content creators of our community in Toronto. So very nice to speak to them about the landscape of fashion in the city. So it was really, really fun. Great vibes were had. A lot of killer content, to be quite honest. So that was happening while you were at the ECMA. So we were like posting on BLACKLANTIC like you wouldn't believe for those 4 days. And then we took a little nap. Now we've been together this week, which we talked about. Looking ahead, both at the road and in future, in less than a month we will be together again for the Soundwave Summit. We will be doing a 30-minute live podcast, which we joke that we've never done a live podcast, but we don't really edit our podcasts. Like, unless one of the guests has an issue with anything or there's a huge mix-up. I think part of our authenticity and our charisma and charm is the fact that we're pretty authentic and unedited. That we made this company so that you get us unfiltered. That's the point. So we're going to be doing this on a stage with a guest that has yet to be announced. But we're very excited for this opportunity, and we'll obviously be making more content together. We'll be going to Canadian Music Week, I'm pretty sure, and supporting D. Hernandez, Omega Mighty, all of the different pals and friends that we've made. So check all of that out, probably on the BAM, because BLACKLANTIC is not only music, but BAM is. So start going there for that. But also, we'll share it on BLACKLANTIC too. I know we will. So it'll be on both. But any major content will be over on your page once you post the ECMA stuff. If that happens.
That's why I was laughing at myself. I between photos, videos, long videos, and short video content, there's over 300 pieces of material that I have to finish sorting and going through and posting and editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of like little short 4-second clips, but also longer stuff as well. And oh man, we would be remiss if we ended our episode without talking about a specific topic that was requested of you yesterday.
Kendrick and Drake.
Kendrick and Drake.
This is their only topic other than us. Although I guess I should add, we're also probably going to be together again in August, and it's looking like we will be at Summer Solstice in September. So catch us no longer virtually. Catch us only in person. This is an in-person podcast now, and we're gonna make it happen.
It's wild.
Thank you to our sponsors, our donors, our funders.
We've literally been a company for 2 years, and the growth and trajectory has been amazing so far.
We're in our third.
We're in our third. So
Yeah.
we've been a company for
Two and a bit.
2 and a bit, 2 and change. But yeah, because not only that, and there's a lot of music lately. We might be at the Sumo Festival in PEI.
It's looking like we might go to Cavendish and Somo.
Yeah. So Cavendish is the September one.
No, Cavendish is July.
And Somo is the
September one, but we have to sort all that out.
Got an email yesterday where we were invited to something in Toronto on June 17th.
I know.
I can't go to.
I'm already going, so I just wanted to discuss. We have to have a meeting after this is done.
So
we're busy. We're booked and busy, but also we need all the support we can get because this is very exciting.
That was my point about being behind. We need staff. We need help.
Hi, volunteer.
Yep.
But until then, Drake and Kendrick. So if you're not caught up, and I'm like, keep in mind, and I'm sorry that I'm gonna word this in this way, but I am getting my information from my British white boyfriend. Like, I am not in the beef. But from what I understand, at one point everyone was saying that everyone was going to turn on Drake. And then people started releasing diss tracks, and so did Drake. J. Cole released one and then took it back. And then now it's just been Kendrick and Drake back and forth. Quite a few of them are bops. The main theme continues to be that Kendrick is saying that Drake and OVO are affiliated with pedophiles. And highlighting the fact that Drake had flirted with Millie Bobby Brown when she was 16, and a member of OVO is either arrested for sex trafficking or affiliated with some not so great stuff, and they've never removed him from the OVO crew. I don't really know what Drake's disses to Kendrick have been, because I think they're not doing as well.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, at first it started off with Drake making like a bunch of short jokes and calling Kendrick not a man. But then he started coming out with how Kendrick Lamar was calling Drake not black enough. However, Kendrick Lamar is engaged to a mixed race woman and has a daughter that's light that according to Drake he never sees and lives in a different state from them. He got engaged 9 years ago but never married his fiance, and Drake is saying that Kendrick is a bad father, and Kendrick's saying that Drake's a bad father
and has a daughter that hasn't come up.
Yeah, and also I guess Drake was making some disses that are not going to age well. Like, he was making fun of Kendrick Lamar's style of rapping as if he was trying to free the slaves, and he was saying some stuff that does kind of indicate that he might not have a full grasp on the culture and what's appropriate to say. He kind of made some frat boy disses. I'm not Team Kendrick or Drake, but what else did Drake say about Kendrick? He was saying that like Kendrick doesn't want to be seen with anyone that's not blacker than him. That's why he ignores his daughter and his wife and won't marry her, and that he's out in a different state and he's cheating and all kinds of stuff like that. But yeah, so I guess I think Kendrick and Drake, I think they've always had beef, although I mean it's also being said like Drake got Kendrick his start in the rap game. Like back in the day, everybody wanted to be on tour with Drake. Everyone wanted to do tracks with Drake. Even from like The Weeknd to Future and is Future? Yeah, and Kendrick. But now they're all turning on him. And so basically, the allegations against Drake that you haven't mentioned is that, you know, like it's insulting that they're dissing him for being Canadian, which is fine, but they're saying that he's not black, which speaks to my question of what does black even mean. So they're saying he's not like American black enough, and he's like has this fake persona, he's acting, he's not being authentic to himself, which may or may not be true.
Well, I have
but
heard...
what does it mean to be black then? Are you not black if you're black?
Well, I've heard it stated more that like he tries to come across like he's maybe what we consider stereotypically black, so gangster, drug affiliated, crime affiliated, whatever, when he was raised as like a middle class pretty boy who was on Degrassi, and so what we would attribute to maybe a white family. So yeah, I have heard that as well.
But all this apparent beef aside, you know, there's also conspiracy talks that this is all fake. You know, obviously Kendrick Lamar's last album didn't do amazing. Just in the past month alone, and this was weeks ago, his monthly Spotify listeners had increased by like 20 million. They're both making crazy bank. They're both signed to the same parent company. So obviously these record labels are signing off on these diss tracks for two artists on their own label, which is raking in like tons of money. People are saying, if you recall, right before this beef started, everybody was actually talking about Puff Daddy and all the Puff Daddy allegations. So that's music industry affiliated. People are saying that The owner of the record labels that Drake and Kendrick are signed to is also possibly being implicated in this Puff Daddy scandal. So he's trying to create a big media distraction to get all away from that. I'll even go as far as to say that this is a big distraction from what's happening in Gaza. To be honest, I don't know if visible minorities have been as distracted by anything in the media since October 7th, 2024, and until this Drake beef. So there could be a lot of things going on. The truth is, they are going hard at each other, they are dissing each other, but you know, nothing, I don't think anyone's career is going to be impacted in any negative way. And you know, people pay good money, people agree to be roasted. And people have battle raps all the time. But battle rap is a huge part of rap culture. Where these guys are saying the most decrepit stuff about each other and hug each other after. So the question is really like, is this orchestrated? Is this just a distraction? Is this a money grab? I hope it doesn't spill out into violence. And no one's talking about why everyone talked about that Drake's bodyguard got shot.
I was about to bring that up.
It was in the news on that one day, and then everyone stopped talking about it. And like, is no one curious why Drake's bodyguard got shot? To me, that just shows the power of media to control what we think about, because everyone just moved on the next day, where I feel like that could have been on the news for a whole week, and it could have spoke to like, is this beef going too far? What's going on?
Well, that was, so I think like 3 days before that happened, I literally said to my boyfriend Ash, I was sort of like, do you think that this is going to get like in any way violent? And Ash was like, no, like Kendrick's not like that, it wouldn't be like that. And then ironically enough, so what I find really interesting, and I don't think that they're related, 2 weeks before Drake's bodyguard got shot in Encino, California, The Weeknd's bodyguard got shot. So it's like 2 Canadian bodyguards get shot, but in 2 completely different places. So yeah, the only thing that stresses me out about Drake's bodyguard getting shot is like the proximity to my home, because he's not that far from my house, which is like, almost near the bridle path, but not at all. But mainly, I just think that that violence and like media and like, I think what's interesting is that what people aren't talking about it is that like, I doubt that it's like anyone affiliated to this beef at all. It's some random person either sensationalized by the media or sensationalized by what's going on, or some random idiot, and it has nothing to do. It's like it's not someone in someone's
polarized people.
Exactly. So I think it's just sad.
I have no idea what's going on. I know someone tried to break into Drake's property after the bodyguard got shot, and it could. But the other reality of this is, and I guess we did have enough to talk about. We thought this might be a 7-minute podcast. Is that it's not just about rap and music and who won. There's a lot of money involved in the rap industry, right? And regardless, wow, what a beautiful view. Regardless of what these artists are making, it's not going to look as good on camera. This is not the view.
The view is just you.
What a beautiful view.
What a beautiful view.
Regardless of what the artists are making, the people who have signed the artists are making like 100 times more than the artists. So there is a lot of money in this game. And when people's money gets threatened, that's when people get shot and killed. So I don't know what's going on, but some people asked us to talk about the Drake Kendrick Lamar beef, and I think
I'm Team Kendrick. Even though I've been sung to by Drake, sorry.
I'm not Team Kendrick and I'm not Team Drake. I think they're team each other. I think this is. I think they're like, all right, bro, we're gonna diss each other. Just don't go too far, or like.
But I guess what I mean by team is the fact that like I think Kendrick's songs have just been better, and like his disses have been better. Like by a team, I mean I think that he's making better sounds than what Drake is doing. That's
well, I can't stop playing Not Like Us.
Is that a Drake one?
We're gonna play that. No, that's the Kendrick one.
That's what I thought.
That's the club. It's the one that feels like a club jam.
Yeah.
I cannot turn that off. Like anytime I see that mentioned on social media, I open Spotify and I'm like, one more time. Let me hear that one more time.
Yeah, so that's why I'm on his team.
Drake hits some bars and Drake hits some lyrics, and everyone makes fun of Drake for having ghostwriters, but we can't forget the kid. You know, back in the day with his BlackBerry, like he's got bars. He can write bars. He's been writing bars for decades. He's a rapper that can rap. But he didn't make anything during this battle that's going to be timeless, right? People aren't going to be playing his diss tracks in a year from now. But If that Not Like Us track by Kendrick, that's pretty dope. It's
Yeah.
pretty dope.
It's very good. Anyway,
So
I think this has been an episode. It's 40 minutes.
Yeah.
We did it.
That's it.
Welcome to our first car vlog. Would you like more content like this? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, supporting, showing up, showing out. Check out our St. Andrews content. Check us out in person on June 6th at the Soundwave Summit at the Paradise Theatre in Toronto. Check us out at Summer Solsa this summer in September. Check us out in person at Cavendish Summerfest here in August. And that's it.
You can find the promo code to book at the Sound Summit on Soundwave Summit on our BLACKLANTIC Instagram bio, right?
Oh, it's literally BLACKLANTIC 15.
Okay.
I just know it by heart.
Okay.
That's BLA. Wait, no, I don't know how to spell her name right now because I'm sick. BLACKLANTIC 15.
Alright, we will see you online, and if you're in St. Andrews at Paddlefest, we will see you there.
Peace.
Peace.